So I want this video to do two things. One is to show my appreciation for so many of you subscribing, and two, some different tips and things that I think you can do to help grow your channel. Yeah, first off, thank you for enjoying my videos, or at least pretending to enjoy my videos, and for enjoying them enough to actually choose to hit subscribe and keep watching what I make. So that's really special to me, and it is very much appreciated. I'm trying to think when I hit different milestones. Well, the last time I made a milestone video was 1,000. I never finished planning my 2,000 sub one, and then 3,000 came too fast, and then all of a sudden I was at like 6,000, and I was gonna do one for that, and then I hit 10,000. But I think what some of you might be thinking, because I've thought the same thing, is well, what I've done before when I was way lower in subscribers and I've been working for like years on videos, is I would envy other people that were growing so fast. But then I realized, like, within when it kind of happened to me when my channel started speeding up, it's definitely not an overnight thing, and it takes a lot of work. It's just once you get there, it's kind of like a snowball effect, and then it really just starts growing. Because I was checking analytics and I was getting 3 subscribers a month or something for a really long time for the first like few years, and now I'm getting about 50 to 60 a day, some days like over 100, so that is a huge difference. Oh, something else I almost forgot. GoHerping, well, what was Instant Nature News and now GoHerping, if you've been subscribed for long enough you would know the previous name, but it's now 5 years old. I uploaded the first video February 19th. Today's, I think, the 21st or something. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the first year of YouTube, February 2012 to February 2013, I got like 7 subscribers in my first year. And it took me a good like 2.5 years to hit 40. And I still remember, I've talked about this before, being stuck at 44 subscribers. It was constantly, I kept gaining one and losing one. And I was at 44 subscribers for like months and months. And so hitting 50 subs was probably like the best milestone, because I just finally got out of the 40s and I was so tired of it. But I really tried to not pay attention to that, because you can't, especially when you don't have many subs. Because I would say one of the most important things, okay, I'm kind of rambling. Let me figure out like what I'm talking about. When you have 10 subscribers, you can't be making videos as if you have 10 subscribers. You need to try and make videos as if you're making it for an audience of 100. Maybe you have 10 or 100 and you want 100,000 subscribers. I think you really need to make your videos as if you're making them for someone with 100,000 subscribers, because you're only going to get those people if you're already making the content for that many people. When I say that, I basically mean don't be lazy with it. Try and do everything you can and use every single YouTube tool available to make your videos more popular. It's definitely not going to be quick. It's going to take a long time. Of course, some people grow like super quickly. And everything I'm saying also, there's like millions of ways that you could probably grow your channel. I'm just talking about what I think worked best for me. But when I was at like 400 subscribers or something, which I was actually at 400, just barely over a year ago now, I realized that I need to actually do everything I can as if I'm making my videos for people that are more, for a channel that's more popular. Because if you're cutting corners and you're not doing custom thumbnails, and you're not putting a lot of time into your titles and descriptions, and if you're not using the tags and using the cards and using everything you can that YouTube gives you to help grow, then it's going to be a slower process. So a ton of the stuff that I learned is from 3 main channels. The first, well, none of these people are like paying me to say it, which I wouldn't even let them pay me because they help me so much. But the first channel is Roberto Blake. He does a ton of marketing stuff, especially for YouTube. So you definitely need to go watch him. He talks about a ton of things you can do. So I'm not going to be talking about all the like little specifics, but I did learn a ton from him. Really, I would say his channel's one of the big reasons I managed to get more subs. The 2 other channels would be Amy's from a Tower and Gary Vaynerchuk. So you should also go watch their channels, because it's basically just a ton of valuable stuff that you can find, and I definitely think they can help you grow. But I do have some other little things that I want to talk about. The main being the don'ts. And I really mean you should not do these things. I've seen so many people do them, and it's so annoying, and it just ruins the YouTube community. It's so annoying. I already said that, didn't I? But it's annoying. And the first being asking for a shout out or asking for a sub, especially to a channel that has more subscribers than them. It is really irritating. Now, okay, if you're one of these people, I'm not directing this towards you because there's a lot of them, but people are always like either emailing or messaging or leaving comments asking if, one, I can give them a shout out because they only have 5 subs, they only have 100 subs, and they're complaining because they don't want to actually work on videos and spend tons of time on those videos. Instead, they just want to skip all that and get some of my subscribers. People also ask to collaborate just so they can grow their channel. I'm gonna be doing a lot more collaborations. I don't care how many subs you have, but you need to bring something valuable to my audience, and I need to bring something valuable to yours. Otherwise, it's pointless, and there's really just no reason to collab just to get subs. There's tons of channels that have gotten shoutouts and stuff, and then all of a sudden they have like 10,000 or 100,000 subs immediately, and then they failed because they didn't know how to keep those subscribers. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about is what I heard from other channels, and it's true, you can go find their channels. They just failed because they didn't know how to keep them. And so getting a shout out definitely is a good way to skip it, because you could end up ruining your channel even more, apparently. The next extremely annoying thing, and this is less annoying and more hurting your own channel, and that's when you put in the comments, if it's anything like, even if it has something nice, if it's like nice comment, can you check out my video? Can you check out my channel? Can you subscribe to me? Sub for sub? Can you give me a shout out? Anything like that, YouTube automatically detects. I have like dozens and dozens of them. I just checked my spam folder before recording this. There's like 90 comments that are just doing this. And I don't have control over that. And what YouTube actually does is it picks up when you write something like that, and it lowers you in search rankings. That means that every time you ask someone to sub for sub or for a shout out, YouTube's like, okay, this person's being annoying. So you'll end up ranking worse whenever someone's searching for a video related to yours. On top of that, all of your future comments, this doesn't happen with all, but it happens with a lot. All your future comments, if you say something like, can you check out my channel, automatically go to spam, which means I never see your comments. There's like 5 channels in there where they have just all these nice comments like, oh, cool video, they don't say anything else, but they're all going to spam because YouTube sees them as a spam account now. So that's a good way to destroy your own channel. If you're doing that now, just stop doing it, but it's definitely not a good thing to do. So speaking of search rankings, this is a lot of detailed stuff that I'm going to talk about. You can find a lot of this on the channels like Roberto Blake and the 2 others. So this isn't a very organized video, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go back to being lazy when you're uploading and making your videos in general. People get really bored and have really short attention spans on YouTube. Personally, I do just get bored when clicking videos, and something you need to remember is, this is going to sound kind of harsh, but there's always a video that's going to be more interesting than yours that people can go watch. There's literally, I just saw on YouTube, there's 300 hours of video uploaded every minute onto YouTube. You're always going to find something that you'll enjoy, so you really have to put work into keeping your viewers, and I do think that there are things that can help with that. I try and do as many of those as possible. For example, I just get straight to the point. I mean, there's obviously nothing wrong with introducing yourself. I'm just really bad at doing it, which is why I don't say like, hey, it's Alex, here's a video. See how bad that was? But really, the first like 10 seconds of your video are so important to keeping the viewers. I've really noticed on my videos, the videos that immediately get into it, get into the point, they have a lot more audience retention, which is how long people stay on the video, and a lot more activity overall. This involves a bit of editing, and you don't need software. Like, I use Premiere Pro. I love Premiere Pro, it's amazing. If you can afford it, you should definitely get it. But there are tons of free or cheap alternatives. But really, just cutting out anything as that you possibly can that might bore the viewer or isn't important, I would say you can. Of course, you can like leave as much in as you want, but if you just have like a 15-second pause of you opening your enclosure to show us a snake. Like, I see a lot of this, and there's nothing wrong with it really, but I get a bit bored if I have to sit there for half a minute while you try and get the enclosure open. If you download some free or cheap software to your computer, your phone, whatever, if you can upload a YouTube video, then you can edit a video, because you need some sort of device to upload it. And YouTube even has a built-in editor, you can use that. But just cutting out those things, I think, really helps keep the audience. I've also been doing my best to really connect with viewers. This is a really important thing. And when I say that, I mean both in videos and just in other places. For example, I do my best to reply to every email. I do my best to reply to every single comment. I see some people that have maybe around the same subs as me, maybe more, maybe less, but they don't put, even if they have like 100 comments, they don't put time into replying to those. I try to put time aside just to reply to comments, like each day. I just might sit for half an hour and do a bunch of replies. Because one, I really enjoy seeing what you say, I enjoy talking to you, and I enjoy helping you. And two, it is important because I think your subscribers or your viewers will see that you actually care about them and they're not just views to you. Live streaming is becoming really popular. I just did a live stream, some of you might have been there, and that's a great way to get to know your subs. I've also been doing my best to find other ways to talk to you just so I can actually know you on a more personal level, because I don't want you to just be a bunch of viewers. I want to actually meet people. So one of the things I did was make a public Discord chat. Links in the description if you want to join it. It's for any reptile keeper or herper. As of this video, I did one video on it already, and it's already at 150 members. So I've been able to talk to a lot of you, both over messaging and voice, so that's really fun. But basically, just don't ignore your audience. They are literally the only thing keeping your channel alive. Whether it's 2 or 200 or 2,000, they are really important, and you need to actually treat them as if they are important, since they are. Taking as much feedback as possible, I encourage you to make like a Google survey with some questions, asking your viewers how you can improve and stuff. Of course, if you have fewer viewers, it's going to be hard to get feedback. I've definitely been there. When I was stuck at those 44 subs, I had no one to really go to ask what they wanted to see, since most of my subs weren't watching my videos. But just getting any feedback you can. Remember that criticism is there to help you. There's a big difference in constructive and unconstructive criticism. If someone just says your video is bad, that's not constructive. Do your best to ignore it. But if someone actually says, maybe they say something nice, maybe they just say the criticism like, I think it would be better if you did this in your video. You don't have to do it, it's your channel. But I think that you should definitely take that into consideration, because it's really important to give people what they want to see. I'm just going to throw in a couple more things that just popped to mind because I didn't write a list on what I actually want to talk about. But sub for subs, it turns out, does hurt your channel. I've had a channel before, I made little Lego stop motions on it, and I would sub for sub to anyone, because why not? It doesn't hurt. But turns out the YouTube algorithm is set up to detect sub for subs. They know when you subscribe to each other. There's nothing wrong with that. However, sub for subs are very rarely actually going to watch your videos. If you do subscribe to someone, you ask them to sub back just so that you can each have one more subscriber. YouTube's going to know that they are not active, and they're actually going to put you, again, in lower search rankings. So there's lots of little things like that. Other than that, like I said, trying to connect with the audience, not being lazy in your videos, editing as much as you can to keep it interesting, filling that description because that gives YouTube more information and they know who to send your videos to, doing the tags, doing thumbnails, all sorts of things can really help. In my opinion, I think that's what's helped for me, but there's tons of other things you could do, of course, and I have very little knowledge on YouTube other than that, since I am no pro whatsoever. But that's kind of everything that I can think of right now. I'm sure a lot of you can have more ideas. It doesn't matter how many subs you have. I'm sure you can all have some input on ideas on how we can all grow our channels. So I'd love to hear it. I'm sure others would love to hear that too. But again, thank you for subscribing. 10,000. I'm trying to imagine that number. Actually, when I hit 1,000, I showed a picture of like an audience with 1,000 people apparently. Right here, I'll stick a photo of 10,000 people because I have no idea what that would look like. I probably don't want to see it. That's really scary. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. You are an extremely positive audience, extremely helpful, extremely fun to talk to, and it's been really exciting. Here I'll stick in some self-promotion. If you would like to follow my social medias, I've got Instagram at go_herping. I also now have a well, they're both personal Instagrams, but I now have a photography Instagram. If you want to follow it, that's AlexGreen319. Twitter is at GoHerping or at AlexGreen319. Facebook, no one uses Facebook, but it's facebook.com/GoHerping. So that's it for this video. Good luck on your channel. If you are making videos, if you haven't started making videos, just try it. It's really fun. But that'll be it for this video. So I'm Alex, and thanks for watching.